Hey Taurus, how's it going? My name's Alex. I think the Oracle and I have some interesting messages for you today. Interesting, to say the least. So before I turn the camera on, I like to do a meditation, get tuned into your frequency, and then pull an I Ching hexagram after that. But this meditation was interesting, what the Oracle showed me. This came in the form of some imagery. And it began with this big icicle that just fell from above and stabbed into an enormously thick sheet of ice and was just going through the sheet of ice, just digging into it, like drilling into it. And as it went in, it actually transformed into a big industrial drill. And it drilled and drilled and drilled through this very, very thick ice. And then it got to this gemstone. It was glowing multiple colors, like iridescent, very bright, all the colors you can imagine. And as soon as the drill tip touched this gemstone, the whole drill kind of just turned into this swirling torrent of colors and disappeared, and then you appeared out of the middle of the colors there, and in this big newly drilled ice tunnel, and you picked up this gemstone and then swallowed it. And as soon as you swallowed it, the scene transformed, and you were transported to the middle of the ocean, where you were floating in the ocean, just lazily and happily enjoying your day, in a big inner tube, like a pool toy, that was like in the shape of a duck, like, you know, a yellow rubber ducky, except it was like an inner tube with the duck's head on it. And you're just floating in the middle of the ocean in the bright, hot sunshine. And then a freaking shark came out and just swallowed you whole. And then you burst out of this shark, and the shark just exploded into blood and guts. And you flew out of the water and into the air, dressed up like a superhero, like Superman. And you were just floating in the air, and you were holding the gemstone again, and then you swallowed it again. Taurus. What the hell? That was the trippiest thing I've seen in a while. I have no idea. That is just something to stick in the memory for you. Something to think about while we do the rest of this reading. I don't even know where to begin with that, Taurus. I'll have what you're having. But I pulled an I Ching hexagram for you. And the first one that I got was seeking harmony. But you see every single line is changing. So we change it to, if we change it to its opposite, its inverse. Or not its inverse, it's approaching gua hexagram. So every single line then we just make the opposite. So if all these are solid, we turn all those to yielding lines, and all the one here that's yielding, we turn to a solid. And then we kind of consult both of them. Except the second one that it changed to, that's really the main one to focus on, with like a flavor of the first one. So seeking harmony was the first one, and the second one was multitude. Now, Scorpio got this in their last reading, multitude, with a changing line, a bit of nuance. So maybe there's something in that is relevant to you. Maybe you want to check out Scorpio's reading as well. Maybe you have strong Scorpio in your chart, or there's some Scorpio around you, or you're just dealing with some scorpionic energies. But this was a little bit different because of that seeking harmony, and Scorpio's was changing into something else. But essentially what's going on here is that there is some sort of contentious situation that you're in that needs to be resolved. And you are properly resolving it. It's like not something mysterious or strange. It's like you know what you have to do, which is seeking harmony amongst this group of people that's in this contentious situation. And I get the feeling that there are many people affected by this. It's not just you alone, but there's like a group of people involved here. And you're being asked to find the power that's stored within this group of people. Now this symbol here is made up of two trigrams, right? A hexagram of 6 lines made up of 2 groups of 3 lines. The top 3 lines represent the element of earth, and the bottom 3 lines represent the element of water. So basically we have earth above, water below, and that's this idea of storing water under the earth, like a cistern. Water catching, you know, an aquifer, like it's hanging on to something for a rainy day, or storing power to be used later when it's needed. And that later is now, essentially. The moment is here for some leader to arise from within this group. And the normal leader that you're accustomed to is not the correct person for this job. Maybe if you're at a work situation, maybe there's some group leader that usually takes care of things, or some boss or some manager or something, or there's a normal authority figure in this circumstance, in this group you're with, or in this situation. There's someone that is normally deferred to as the authority, as the problem solver, as the leader, as the person who gets things done, as the person who delegates and manages. But in this case, that person is not the correct person to do the job. Because normally, the 5th line here, you know, the 5th from the bottom, that represents like the king or the normal authority. But here we have the 2nd line is the only solid line. And that's someone from the multitude. That's someone from within the group who is the right person for the job, who's the actual leader here. Because there's a dynamic from within the group that is very important to utilize. And the only person who can utilize that dynamic, that power that's within the group, is someone from that group. The normal authority figure is too detached from the situation, too aloof from the situation to understand how to properly resolve this situation. And I think you're that person from within the group who is being asked to step forward. Yeah, I mean, it must be you. I'm doing this reading for you. So basically, you are the person who's worthy of this because it seems to me because of your honesty, you're worthy of it. Your noble characteristics are desirable here. And I think everybody recognizes that you are supposed to be the one to resolve this. You are the correct leader for this time, for this moment, for this problem, for this task at hand, that everyone's kind of looking to you and no longer looking at the regular authority. The regular authority is coming up short, and people are looking for a better leader and a better answer to this problem that you almost certainly possess. It's your unselfishness, your ability to relate to these other people that is really making you worthy of leading them from within. So you're going to take on the role of a different type of leader, somewhat unconventional one, because most leaders lead from above. They delegate down to their underlings, their subordinates. But sometimes there's a leader that leads from within the group itself by setting examples, by doing the same work that everybody else is doing, but doing it by initiative, taking the initiative first, getting it done, setting the example of how to do it, having the correct attitude and setting the example of what type of attitude to have while doing it. And it's all about the guiding of your emotions, controlling your attitude, projecting your attitude out into the task at hand so that you're perfectly in the moment, performing the work, focused on the work. And through that example, others are going to see how you do it and essentially copy what you're doing, or not necessarily copy, but from your center, they become the periphery. So it's not an above and below type of leadership, it's a center and periphery type of leadership where you are all essentially equal in authority, but you are, as they say, first among equals, right? King Arthur and the Round Table. King Arthur was the first among equals. Or like the proper Roman Imperium, the proconsul was the first among equals, and so on. That's what you're being asked to be, essentially. Because the people in this situation around you already see that within you. They already see you as that person. It's not something that you have to become. It's something that everybody already sees you as. Maybe you're the only one who doesn't see it, at least not yet. And you just need to recognize that you have that power within your hands to solve this problem. It's already within you. And maybe you knew it was within you long ago and you forgot. And then, that's like, it was frozen at some point in your past. This power was frozen deep, deep, deep under some layers and layers of ice that you got through, you drilled through, and you found that power probably a long, long time ago. And you knew you were worthy of leadership roles and things like that you're a decent, noble person, and that you have the right to be sovereign and to have leadership roles that are appropriate for you. But somewhere along the line, you might have gotten a little too complacent, a little too lazy with it, and then you got swallowed by a shark. Somebody else stepped in and took that authority, and you basically started playing second fiddle. You became somebody else's subordinate, and you found yourself in the position that you're currently in. This could be in anything. At work, it could be in your family life, your friend circle, some project you're working on. It could be like literally anything. I don't know what it is for you, but I think everyone's like, what are you doing? Like, you're more powerful than this. Like, why did you become complacent and lazy and allow yourself to get swallowed by a shark? And then you're like, oh yeah, duh, I have that power. And then you're just gonna blow the shark to smithereens, fly out of it. And whatever that shark is, I don't know, it's just that idea that you kind of just took a back seat to something and just, whatever, I'm just gonna live this mediocre life, who cares, kind of a thing. And everyone else around you is like, you might be happy with that mediocre life, but we're not happy with you living that mediocre life, and we need your help right now. We need you to be that Superman. So you burst forth from that shark, you notice that gemstone, like, oh yeah, right, I have this, and you swallowed it again, right? So this is like something that you just need to remember that you already possess, and then just imbue yourself with that power again, just reawaken it and do something. And if you like, there's nothing wrong with being a subordinate or playing second fiddle or enjoying a nice, complacent, mediocre life. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Those types of people make the world go round. It's modest, it's humble, it's great. But sometimes there are people around us who need our leadership skills. And I know what it's like to not want to be a leader, where it's like, I don't want the responsibility over these people. I don't need to do this. Like, they should just step up themselves and take care of this crap. Like, why do I have to do it all the time? Like, believe me, I understand that feeling. And the thing is, it's like, I don't know why. But sometimes people just elect you. They choose you, they select you, they elect you, and they say, you're the one for this job. None of us can really do it the way that you can. And they're humbly or not humbly asking for your help. And sometimes we just have to do it. Another thing about this is that this unselfishness is the key. Sometimes living a modest, mediocre life is very selfish because it's very easy. The masses of people that go about their day, that they have their 9-to-5 jobs, they have their simple vanilla flavored lives, and that's it from birth to death for these people. They never lead anything, they never do anything remarkable, which again is fine. It's a noble life in its own way. But the reason so many people live that life is because it is the easy life to live. Everybody else is responsible for you. The government is responsible for protecting you and regulating your economy. Your boss is responsible for your daily tasks. Just someone else is responsible for everything you do, right? And all you got to do is show up and punch the clock and then go home. It's the easiest life to live. And that's why the vast majority, about 90% of the human race lives that life, and only 10% of the human race are leaders. Because leadership takes a great deal of responsibility. Freedom takes responsibility. If you gain freedom for yourself, you will be looked to as a leader, because everybody wants to be led by someone who is free, because that maximizes their freedom. Because if they don't have the responsibility to be truly free as an individual, they want to follow someone who is free as an individual, because then that will maximize their liberty as well, because they're following a free person. And so at some point in your life, you developed freedom for yourself, likely spiritual freedom, freedom from your emotions, freedom from your animalistic desires. You probably conquered yourself a long time ago and became psychologically and spiritually free, maybe even financially free or even politically free. And everybody around you knew this. Your friends, your family, they all saw it. Of course they saw it. And they recognized it. Your coworkers, everybody saw you do this and achieve this freedom. And then they saw you give it up for the easy life that everybody else lives. And now they're asking you, why did you give it up? We need you to be free again. Because we all can benefit from your freedom. So you're amongst the multitude, and you have to teach them freedom again. You have to embrace your sense of freedom that you once had, even though it comes with a lot of responsibility. But if you do so with modesty and sincerity, these difficult group struggles, this situation, will be resolved, and everything leads to success. And it just hinges on you accepting that, you probably are the leader, and you just have to accept that. So we're going to get into some cards now. I have this divination system I developed over the years. I got these 24 symbols and all these corners and vertices here. 24 aspects of reality, symbols, aspects of life. I'm going to spin a coin. It's going to point at one of these. That's what the Oracle wants us to focus on. I'm going to pull some cards about that aspect of your life that we're going to focus on. So what does Taurus need to know, Oracle? What does Taurus need to know? Oh my goodness. Mercy. If you study Kabbalah and you know about the right-handed path, that's what this symbol, the symbol of mercy, the symbol of grace, the path of grace, the right-handed path of climbing the tree of life, as opposed to the left-handed path, and adjacent to the middle path. On the path of mercy, you have Venusian energy, you have Jupiterian energy, you have masculine spiritual energy. There's that leadership again. You have wisdom, victory, control over the emotions, but using the emotions properly, guiding them, using grace and love, harmony within relationships. Oh yeah, there's that seeking harmony. That the first thing on the tree of life as you climb the right-hand path is victory, utilizing the emotional center. So that's harmony in relationships. Seeking harmony amongst that group is the foundation for ascending this path here. After that, you achieve the Jupiterian sphere of abundance and happiness and authority. Jupiter is the king after all, the sovereign one, the gift giver, the fatherly spirit who grants gifts. And then above that you have wisdom, and that you have the perfect divine masculine aspect. And then above that you have the Most High God, right? The absolute, the source of all reality. So there's something about taking that path up the tree of life that's important for you. Harmony in the emotional center, kingliness and sovereignty and leadership and generosity and compassion and fatherly love, and the divine masculine energies of just, joyfulness. So what does Taurus need to know about the path of mercy? This top one. Ooh, look at that. The Emperor. How appropriate. This is an Aries card, which is on the left-handed path of the Tree of Life. Kind of the inverse of Jupiter, right? But this is kind of, this is sort of like that Jupiterian aspect of the Emperor. That ultimate authority. The emperor who has his sword turned down and not up, you know, in peacetime. That's another thing with the symbol of multitude from the I Ching that you got, is that the peasantry were the military, because there was no standing military in ancient China. They didn't have one. The peasants were trained for military action during peacetime, and then if war should be necessary, and it was seen as an evil and only used when absolutely necessary, the peasants became the soldiers, and someone from among the peasantry, the most noble and upright and worthy of them, became the general, the commander of the military. And this commander answered to the commander-in-chief, the king, or the emperor. And there were times, and extremely difficult times, when that peasant actually did become the king after the military action was resolved. Where the situation was so dire that a power vacuum within the government was created. And someone from among the peasantry was selected by the people simply from his reputation of being noble and honest and just and righteous and upright and all these great qualities, performed the military action successfully, and then became the king because the power vacuum was there, and everyone was like, well, yeah, obviously you're the guy to step into that empty throne, that, you know, this throne was left empty because of this terrible situation. You're obviously the guy to do it. And it was like very prosperous and easy for him to secure that with very little adversity. And these situations crop up from time to time. Now, I'm not saying there's going to be military action or anything so extreme and radical as all that, but there could be a type of power vacuum forming in a contentious situation that you're in, and you're the guy. You're climbing the tree of life from the lower sphere of the earthly sphere to the sphere of seeking harmony, to the sphere of authority, to the sphere of ultimate authority. Yeah, I think that's pretty clear. I think you're being thrust into a leadership position, whether you like it or not. I'm gonna pull another card for you. Now, of course, you always have a choice. You can do whatever you'd like. This is just a reading. If this doesn't resonate with you, just ignore it. Come on. Yeah, I think you're being asked to leave your comfort zone, though. You know, take what resonates. You're free to live your life the way you want. This is just a little reading. Yeah. So what does Taurus need to know about the right-hand path of grace and mercy, the Emperor, desire, Cupiditas. Now here we have a pomegranate and a lotus floating in a bowl of wine. These are very sensual symbols. You might have a love interest whispering in your ear, telling you all the things that I've been telling you, that you're the right one for the job, you have to do this. That could be a motivating factor, right? Many kings have someone whispering in their ear at night, kind of nudging them and telling them what to do. It's a common phenomenon within human government. And the rise to power is often spurred on by love and by desire. And this is also a very Venusian card. These are very Venusian symbols. And again, climbing the tree of life on the right-hand path, that first sphere of victory, seeking harmony, that's the sphere of Venus. And I think this is confirmation that, like, yeah, your spur to action, the spark that's getting you going, is like a harmony in relationships. And this is probably a more intimate relationship than you have with the rest of the group. You know, of course, that's not for everybody. But if that's for you, if this is your reading, then yeah. Just make sure you're doing what you're doing for the right reasons, and not just because you want to impress somebody, but because that person, maybe that person is right and sees something in you that, and recognizes that part of you that is going to help the rest of the group. Remember to do it in perfect unselfishness. That is the absolute key to success, is unselfishness. I'm going to pull one more thing for you, one more token, one more symbol. I carved 64 of these symbols to go along with my divination system. Let's see what we got for you. One last thing for Taurus, Oracle. What is the last thing that Taurus needs to know about desire, the Emperor, the right-handed path of grace and mercy? What is it that Taurus needs to know? Ooh, 3? Wow. All 3 of these wanted to come out. Let's see here. Okay. So here we have an aspect of the human being, thoughts. Here we have the companion. This is a scene from The Lord of the Rings, if you recognize Mordor and Mount Doom and Frodo and Sam down there. And then we have Ahriman, the spirit of darkness and materialism. I made this look like a computer chip, if you can see that. Ahriman is sort of like the Persian version of Satan. This is kind of like that devil energy, that technocratic energy. Maybe you work for a computer company. Maybe you work for some type of technocratic corporation. Maybe you work on Silicon Valley. Maybe you just spend too much damn time on a computer. Or maybe you have been feeling kind of atheistic lately and highly materialistic, as in scientific materialism, right? The idea of anti-spirituality might be weighing on you, or plaguing your thoughts of like, what's the point of spirituality? What's the point of practicing spirituality? That could be something that caused you to go back into your mundane, mediocre life, is a sense of futility with spiritual practice. And, you know, Frodo, if you're familiar with The Lord of the Rings, he really wasn't the hero. Sam was. Or at least Sam helped Frodo be the hero. You know, Frodo failed his inner journey and his outer journey, his inner conflict and his outer conflict. He fell to the temptation and put the ring on his finger. When he had the chance to throw it in the lava, he didn't. And when he was wrestling with Gollum, Gollum won and bit his finger off. If it wasn't for Sam, the ring would not have been destroyed. If it wasn't for Sam, always carrying Frodo and dealing with Frodo's bullshit, the ring would have never been destroyed. Frodo was always racked with doubts and faithlessness, but Sam was always there to help him out. And I think you have a companion with you who's telling you, like, no, you are spiritual, you are a deep person, you are a worthy leader, and you have an important job to do. And you need to get these dark thoughts out of your head, these Ahrimanic, dark, hopeless thoughts need to go away, and you need to step up and destroy the frickin' ring. And then you become the Emperor. You know what I'm saying, Taurus? I gotta leave it there. I think that's all the Oracle and I have to tell you today. And if you didn't get the message, I don't know what to tell you. It's pretty clear to me. I think you've got an important task ahead of you, and you can accomplish it. You just have to choose to do it, and you will have success. So, thanks for stopping by, Taurus. It was great seeing you. I wish you all the best, and I'll see you next time.